Hey folks, welcome back to Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. We're here in Iron Keep, the climactic lava castle that is the end of one of the spokes of the world here. Just before we head in, we've already covered this entry area, but I wanted to draw attention just to a nice, couple of nice little environmental touches, atmosphere things. Got an angel up there who is attached to chains. Seems symbolic. I don't know. We've got basically chains every which way. I assume it's kind of holding up the castle so it doesn't just collapse into the lava entirely. So it maintains some sort of structural integrity. It's literally being held together with I don't know, bits of string, basically. Metal string, but string nonetheless. Then we got these griffins indicating the entryway. Just a nice little touch there. So the crooked buildings and the chains do a really nice job of indicating that this place is in disrepair. Not in a good place. Anyway, most of this episode, by most I mean almost certainly all of it, is going to take place in this upcoming room here, which is a room full of Elan Knights and a couple other enemies. It's very tricky. It is definitely very, very tricky. And I would say that it actually gets harder on repeated attempts, and I'll explain why in a little while. First things first, I want to take care of this guy. You can see he has a great bow. I don't want him shooting at me while I'm trying to deal with enemies. Yeah, so 3 shots there, dumps him into the lava. Makes the area a lot more manageable. Now, as I said in the last episode, I think, a lot of the combat in this area, especially regarding the Elan Knights, is basically Elan Knights running at you from a very long distance away, often from places you didn't even know they were hiding. So I'm going to do my best to be aware of places where Elan Knights are visible and kind of draw them to me, so at least I have control over their aggro a little bit, and I am the lord of the situation. Still not quite on top of their timing there. They're swinging faster than I'm swinging, and I need to swing earlier. But not so early that I miss them entirely. Luckily, I can 2-shot them with the craftsman's hammer, so that's cool. Anywho, we took care of the guy on that lower platform there. Took care of that guy on a suspended bridge. There's another one on a suspended bridge there. Let's see if we can get him to come join us. Well, no, we dropped him down and now he has a buddy, so... And he's not going to run into the lava, I'll tell you that. Oh well, we'll deal with him in a bit. Now then, up ahead, if you look carefully, there is an enemy, and not an Elan Knight, an enemy of some sort. Somebody just fell in the lava. Was it that guy? I think it was. I think he fell in the lava. What a doofus. There's this guy. He has a great bow. He will shoot you from a long distance. Then there's that Elan Knight up there who just dropped down and is about to get up in our grill. Let's get this out here. Well, trading blows isn't perfect, but it worked. Now that's actually the best aggro I've ever gotten from that guy. Man, I'm almost getting a full set here. Got the head, got the torso. Do I have the leggings? No, I don't have the leggings. Do I have the gloves? No, I don't have the gloves, but I'm getting there. And I got the katana. That's the best aggro I've gotten from that guy, because usually, if you get much closer, an Elan Knight from up above. Come on. There we go. Come out from the doorway up there. And you'll have to deal with two at once. That's usually how the encounter goes. I guess that guy, first guy, got sick of waiting. Alright, that's that guy taken care of. And now, let's run real fast past this guy. Yeah, not even close, buddy. Great bows, honestly, are pretty easy to dodge as long as you're not trying to do something else at the same time. Because it takes so long to draw the bow and fire the arrow that by the time it fires, you're long gone. Speaking of which, you can use that to your advantage up here. Sitting duck. I don't know what those guys are called. Hopefully at some point one of them will drop a thing, so I'll know what they're called. Speaking of which, here's another one. This guy's actually in crossbow range. That was too close. And this guy doesn't have a bow for some reason. Kind of weird that his friend had a bow, but this guy doesn't. He is a sitting duck. Yeah, you got the right idea, Phantom Shade guy. Alright. So you can face that guy mano a mano if you go through that doorway. Looks a little fiery, though. I wouldn't recommend it at this point in time. So, you may be wondering, how do you get through the fire here? Well, I'll tell you. Opening the door does not solve the fire problem. And in fact, if you just stand still when you open the door and you don't actually move out of the way, the fire will blow out like that and it will kill you. No, I didn't lose a recording to that. What are you talking about? Shut up. This lever here. I'll bet you've been wondering what it's about. Well, this lever lowers one side of that suspended bridge. One side, but not the other. And this is why I would argue that this area actually gets harder on subsequent attempts. Because once you lower this bridge, the two Elan Knights who are on this bridge, who are standing here at the beginning, can also just rush at you as soon as you go through that doorway. So you have to deal with more Elan Knights at once, which stinks. It's difficult. Now then, I'm gonna perch up here, and I'm gonna snipe you. I said I'm gonna snipe you. Yep, you're taken care of. There's a guy with a great bow there. I believe we should be able to snipe his foot. Ooh, that does not do a lot of damage. That didn't do a lot of damage either. Do I have something more exciting arrow-wise? I feel like fire arrows aren't going to do much. You know what? I'm never going to use these things for anything else. Let's fire some lacerating arrows. Are these things going to cause bleeding at some point? I guess they're causing bleeding, but it's not very much. Well, it's a little underwhelming. I should really upgrade this bow. at some point I'm just going to need to invest a lot of souls and upgrade my crossbow and my regular bow and that black steel katana that I guess I'm using now. There we go, taken care of. Oh, and he dropped a thing. Maybe I'll get to find out what they're called. Anywho, before we drop down here, there is some stuff over here that I want to deal with. You may have noticed this valve here. If we rotate it, we can quench the fire that is within. Ta-da! It's safe to go in now. And boop, I probably should have run off the edge to grab that item there. That's fire. There's a chest there. I'm not gonna try to open it. Alright, tricky jump here. Okay, not that tricky. There's a wall to catch you. Doing that entirely so I can run off the edge and grab that item that I overlooked. Ooh. Our red leech trochees. Trochees, I'm not sure which. What are those? What are those? Are they a thing? Here we go. Temporary boosts bleeding resist. Verbal histories often mention Saint Elizabeth. Her uniquely concocted medicines and potions are still widely used today. Elizabeth being, I believe, the mushroom woman from the Artorias of the Abyss DLC. Hey, there's an Alon Knight. You coming up? Yeah, he's coming up. Oh, and he just survived that. Okay. So we should be able to drop down here safely. Pull the lever, and that will lower the other side of this bridge. Allow us to cross easily back and forth. And now we can see how they quenched the fire. I guess... Actually, I don't know if the fire was coming from below or from above. I was gonna say they put a lid on it, but I don't actually think that's what they did. Hey, petrified dragon bone. That's how I upgrade my barbed club. I'm excited. Alright, so, worth noting, if you climb up this ladder, you can, in fact, entirely skip a boss encounter. There is a boss behind the fog door that you might have seen over there that was being guarded by what's-his-name. I don't want to skip the boss, though. So instead, I'm going to come up here. I'm going to wonder if that Alon Knight's going to aggro. Then I'm going to try this door. It does not open from this side. Okay, cool. Good to know. That will probably open up once I beat the boss. By the way, I think if you break these, they'll, like, erupt in flame or something. I'm not going to do it. Actually. Yeah, if it doesn't work with an arrow, I'm not going to try it. Alright, so the bridge has been totally lowered, and it's worth noting that upon lowering the other side of the bridge, the far side here, that also means that the Alon Knights who are on this, this balcony here and up there can all rush at you unimpeded. You saw, we've got one, we got two. That guy fall in lava? No, he didn't. He's up there. Okay. So, how's he gonna approach this? Is he gonna... Oh, he's going all the way around. So yeah, the somewhat, not totally, but somewhat labyrinthine layout of this area means that the knights can come from unexpected places. And honestly, the big thing is that so many of them aggro from such a far distance that you don't know where they are actually positioned in the first place. Because you could totally not even realize that there were two knights perched up there. You wouldn't even know. You just thought, oh great, more of them. Alright, there's one guy there. I don't think there are any more up on the roof, so let's charge in. And backstab. No drop. Let's go grab that item the one dude dropped so long ago. What is it? A lawn captain helm. So they are Elan knights, they are just Elan captains. Okay. Helmet worn by the captain of the Elan knights. The accoutrement of the Elan knights, who served the old Iron King, were created with an advanced casting technique. They remain solid and handsomely crafted. The design is styled after the armor worn by an unusual knight who trained the Iron King's men in the sword. He is said to have deserted his liege after bearing witness to his descent into depravity. So, we're starting to get a kind of complete story here, I think. Yeah, from the katana, from the black steel katana, we learned that a man from the Far East appeared and trained the Iron King's men in this new and exciting swordsman style, and he dedicated himself to the old Iron King. Now we learn that the old Iron King went bonkers, and this guy from the Far East abandoned him because he's nuts. So, I think that's a neat little bit of story that was fed to us bit by bit. However, it's entirely possible that neither of those items would actually drop for you, and you would have no idea what's going on, which is kind of the problem with a lot of how Dark Souls tells its story. We got a tricky jump. Whew. Luckily, there's a nice catch here with the stairs. Petrified Dragonbone, another one. Awesome. Very, very good. Then we can climb up here. And this is where the Elan Knights are hanging out. I can't imagine you'd ever have the opportunity to fight them up here, because they would just drop down. And it's the Zweihander. Hello, Zweihander. You may remember the Zweihander from Dark Souls 1. It is a two-handed sword. It is literally called the Two-Hander. As the name suggests, the Zweihander is held with two hands, but its weight is such that even wielding it in this manner requires strength worthy of the blade. By the way, this Pharaoh's Lockstone creates water, pool of water, gets you wet, which lets you bear fire a little bit better, I guess. I mean, you can sort of use it to walk on those fire platforms down there with the chest, but even then, you're going to take a ton of damage. There are better ways. There are no good ways, mind you, but there are better ways. Also, it's worth noting that the old ember, I think that's what it's called, the thing you give to the blacksmith in Lost Bastille, in the original Dark Souls 2, was located here. Really out of the way. Anyway, I've put it off behind this fog gate lies a boss. Quite a difficult boss, I might say. Quite difficult. And Lucatiel would like to join us. And you know what? That's gonna have to wait for the next episode because I don't want to have to redo this courtyard. It's been a decent 20-minute episode, and this is a hard boss. So, in the next episode, we will enter into the fog gate and take on our first boss of Iron Keep. But until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.